Those bear caps on the heads of the royal guards at Buckingham Palace. They come from hunted down Canadian black bears, meaning the guards' heads are adorned by the spoils of essentially a wearable trophy hunt. A PETA investigation reveals next on the PETA Podcast. Welcome to the PETA Podcast. I'm Emil Guillermo, your host for this inside look at animal rights, brought to you by PETA, the largest animal rights organization in the world. On today's episode, you don't have to be in the UK to be outraged by the hunting of black bears in Canada that are then used to supply the ceremonial caps of the royal guards at Buckingham Palace. PETA investigators documented the hunt for PETA.org. Kate Werner is the campaigner in the UK fighting to end the practice. She talks about what the investigators found, and it's finally making people push the Ministry of Defense to think harder about continuing to kill bears for decorative headgear. My conversation with PETA UK's Kate Werner on the PETA Podcast. The last time I talked to you, we should be further along, right? I mean, we're like almost at the point where people were saying, yeah, let's get rid of these caps, it seemed like.
Yeah, lots of people are saying, yeah, let's get rid of these caps. But unfortunately, the MOD just seems reticent to actually take any action. They keep saying, publicly, we're not wedded to bearskin. We, when a suitable alternative is available, we will use it. And obviously, PETA has had a suitable alternative ready for them since 2017. We've had it tested in an MOD accredited lab. We've also had it tested by a fabric technologist with decades of experience against the MOD's 5 criteria for a faux fur. And the results show that it meets all of the requirements. And in some areas, like how quickly it dries and how sustainable it is, it outperforms bear fur.
The alternative is there. They can make the move, but they haven't. And I think when we last talked, it was at least a couple of years ago, right?
Things have changed since then. So we now have a new defense minister who, we've written to the king. The former defense minister he was staunchly believed that it had to be bearskin. We feel that, like I say, things have changed and we should be seeing some progress. And we have seen some. So the MOD have agreed to us having the faux fur tested in its laboratory again. We want that to be in comparison with bear fur because it hasn't been tested next to bear fur since 2006. So we want to do that. We want to have a comparative testing done to show, once and for all, that this is, a suitable alternative.
All right. So, as you said, we've talked before about this. We have a new defense minister. The thing that has changed is there's this PETA investigation, and we're going to get to that. But but before we do, let's start with this obvious question. Why do the King's Guards even want to wear these tall hats made of bearskin? I mean, why do they want to do this? I mean, it doesn't even seem like a practical solution, these bearskin hats.
Yeah, I mean, they were first developed, a really long time ago when they were actually worn in battle to make the, soldiers look taller and more intimidating. But now they're purely ornamental caps that are worn by the guards as part of their ceremonial dress. So they serve no military purpose. They're just like a costume, basically.
You're saying they wore them because it made them look taller?
Yeah. So they were I think they were slightly different back then. They were a bit larger and taller, but that was kind of the original idea of the size and shape of the caps. They're just ornamental.
Well, I would think that not only would it make them look taller, but it could possibly make them better targets, maybe, if they wore them.
Well, yeah, but yeah, I guess so. Yeah, there is no reason that they can't switch to faux fur because like I say, it matches bear fur in terms of the way it looks and the way it performs. It's just some people argue that it's traditional, but we're not asking for the tradition of the caps to change. We're just asking for the fabric to be updated to reflect modern values, modern ethics.
All right. So the thing that has really changed since I last talked to you is that there's this investigation that has taken place by PETA.
Yeah.
What did PETA find in Canada?
PETA US went undercover at a hunting lodge in Ontario, in Canada, and we filmed the hunters hunting for sport, hunting for fun, and they used a high-powered crossbow, which is a form of hunting that's been illegal in the UK to hunt wildlife. Where these weapons are illegal to use to hunt wildlife here.
It was illegal in the UK, but
it's illegal in the UK to use crossbows to hunt wildlife, but it's legal in Canada. But yeah. I guess, what I'm saying is that there's this, contradiction there where we're importing this fur, which has come from bears who have been killed in a way that we would not allow in the UK. And so this bear was shot. He was killed with an arrow that is designed to expand inside his body. So it would have torn through his, flesh and organs, punctured his lung. He tried to escape and he was found, 100 meters, 200 meters from where he was shot. He was baited. So at these hunting lodges, which are really common across Canada and North America, they use like barrels. They fill them with bagels and cookies and, sweet and sticky food. So the bears are literally lured to the site, and then the hunters sit on like high platforms and they just wait for them to turn up and shoot them, kill them. They hit them. So the bears, are just easy targets.
Bait the bears with cookies and sweet things, and the bears are like in the woods. They're thinking nothing is up here. There's just some food here, and just like you'd see a camper or something. And the hunters are actually on a platform above it all, and they can't
just
be
sat
hurt.
there.
Yeah. And so
the bears turn up. Sometimes mother bears will, turn up during the spring hunts. It's not uncommon for mother bears to turn up. And of course, if you're sat on a high platform just looking at a bear, you don't know if that's a female bear or a male bear. So sometimes mothers will be shot. We got on camera a mother with her cubs coming to the baiting site. She wasn't killed in the footage, but yeah, this other bear was, and he was disemboweled, dismembered right there on the forest floor. And then his head and his fur were stored in a freezer. And this is the origin of the fur that is used to make the bearskin caps. Like this, we don't know that this bear was turned into a cap for the King's Guards, but certainly other bears are, and they would have suffered in a similar way.
And one bear, one cap, right?
Yeah, right. And since 2017, which is when EcoPal and PETA made the faux fur available to the MOD, 498 caps have been ordered, and that is 498 bears. So it's particularly, outrageous to think that a faux bear fur has been available and those bears needn't have, become caps.
And you can get it down to the number because that if they are importing these bears, and there's really no other place to import them, right? I mean, they're coming from Canada.
Yeah, and they've started to say that the fur that they use is part of this scheme called Fur Mark, which is an industry scheme set up by fur farmers and hunters to basically look after their own interests of producing fur for the fashion industry. It's complete greenwashing. And the MOD has started to say that, the fur we use is Fur Mark accredited. So we know that it's going through, there's just one auction house in Canada that it's going through. So yeah, we can pinpoint it to there, basically.
The hunt in Canada exposed the technique and exposed the process by which the bears are taken and then sent as per order to the UK. Why did the killers use crossbows? Because it would seem that, that would, it's banned in the UK.
the hats are not being made to order. So that the MOD is very specific in saying that it orders a certain number of caps, and that the they would argue that, well, the bears are being killed anyway, right? Although they claim this, it's nonsense, right? Because of course, by ordering caps, they're making a market. Yeah. So the caps aren't made to order. So the MOD is very specific in saying that they order a certain number of caps. And so then what happens is the cap makers, they go to the auction house, there's a buyer there for them, they buy the fur, and then it's made into the caps, right? But of course, by ordering these caps made from bear fur, they're creating a market for black bear fur, which then the hunter incentivizes the hunters to go out and shoot these bears, and they know they can sell the fur. So but by continuing to use the fur, we're entirely complicit in the industry, and we're actually sponsoring, funding this hunting of bears in Canada.
Why are they using crossbows? Because it would seem that rifles would be more effective and maybe more humane, because a crossbow is like a slow, painful death. If you're going to be, in terms of comparing the kind of death, and that there's a reason why they're banned in England, right?
Yeah, I guess it's just more fun for the hunters, right? Like, let's go out with our crossbows, let's feel like macho men and like kill these bears. But actually it's causes more suffering. It's an incredibly horrible way to die, and it means that these bears suffer for longer, like you say. Not that any way of killing them would be okay, of course, but killing them with crossbows is certainly a long, painful death.
We also have the great actor and comedian Stephen Fry, who narrated the video for this investigation. He must have been moved by what PETA found, and he certainly helped to make headlines in the UK. What has the reaction been to Stephen Fry?
He's obviously a huge name here in the UK and in other places around the world. So his involvement has really helped us get this investigation out there. In the UK, it's been covered everywhere, like everybody now, anyone who reads any kind of newspaper or like consumes any type of content from, websites and stuff will have seen this story. So his involvement has made this way bigger and way more well publicized than it might have been. So we're really glad that he supported us on this.
And what of the impact on the people who can do something about it, like the people at the MOD?
Yeah, so he's really well connected, right? So he's friends with the king, he's friends with like lots of very well connected people. So we're really hoping that his influence will be of benefit to the campaign and might actually be the tipping point to winning this.
Well, the King's Guard are under the purview of the Ministry of Defense. Do you think you can get them to budge on this in any way now? Because, as we said earlier, you're close before. There hasn't been anything. Now there's this investigation. Have they responded to this investigation specifically?
Well, we've written to the King. We're yet to hear back. They have the Buckingham Palace hasn't commented yet, but we really hope that, like I say, this would be kind of the point that King will be like, hey, ringing up the minister, like this needs to go away, and we need to change the hats to faux fur. The King himself wears one, and we know he has sympathies with the environment and wants to be like a modern monarch. So, it would fit really nicely for him to be wearing a faux fur cap when he's on parade.
He does wear a bearskin hat?
Yeah. So for the on his birthday parade, he was wearing a bearskin, and there's various kind of engagements throughout the year there, on TV, and he wears it for that. He wears some for those.
What would the symbolism be if the King actually, instead of bearskin, wore faux bearskin?
That would be a massive statement, right? Like around the world, people would see him, and I'm sure it would be commented on, when he was on TV wearing it, and it would just be a massive statement to to worldwide, really, he's known everywhere, of course, and it would be huge. It would be the very end of fur.
And if he had a faux bearskin hat, he would have at least demonstrated that he'd saved at least one life.
Yeah, exactly. It's a moral issue as well. Like, we know that 96% of people in the UK reject fur, and it's just so out of step with our nation, the values of our nation and society, to continue to use real bearskin for these hats. People have been saying, well, the tourists come and they see the guards in the caps and they love looking at them. And it's like, well, if the tourists saw a real bearskin cap and a faux fur cap side by side, they wouldn't see any difference. There would be no noticeable difference. So it's really a no-brainer, like it could only be a good thing.
Yeah, and if people could only see the pictures of the PETA investigation, and if they could see how the bears are taken, there's no excuse for a bearskin cap when you see how cruelly taken the bears are in Canada.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, of course, the hats cause suffering of bears, lots of bears, but also like the faux fur is more sustainable. It's made in closed loop factories, which means there's no waste. We don't need to treat the faux fur with toxic chemicals like we do with the bear fur to stop it from degrading. And it'll be way better for the guards as well. Like, user comfort will be improved with the faux fur because it's lighter and it dries quicker. So it'll be easier for the guards to wear in the heat.
Yeah. Now, you have a point by point diagram showing all the great qualities of the faux bearskin. I'm sure the MOD has seen it. Why do you suppose they haven't acted? I mean, it goes over water absorption and water penetration, and that, let's say, in terms of water penetration, there are tests that show that these faux bear fur hats are 100% waterproof. So
yeah,
the guards could stand out there and not be bothered that they'll have their little wet heads. Yeah. But it looks good. The faux bear fur you can't tell apart, like you said. They're quick drying, better drying, and than the others, than the real fur. And compression, it says the laboratory testing found that the faux bear fur performed in the same way as real bear fur.
Mm-hmm.
So quickly following compression to the original height. So you're not going to have a flat head. I mean, because no one would want a flat bearskin hat. I mean, we got to be tall, right? So,
exactly.
So it meets all the standards. I mean, didn't you say that they had one thing that they're real persnickety, the MOD, and they said, here's our criteria, and it's all been met. Now, what is the excuse now?
I mean, they're saying at the moment, well, to our knowledge, there's no faux fur that's suitable. But like, that is just firstly, it's a lie. Like, we have sent them the lab tests and the results of which show that, all the things you've just said, like, it meets the requirements. But I think it's just a real reluctance to change, to modernize, like it's the military. We know they're not the best like changing and modernizing, but I think we've reached a point now where we have met all of their requirements. The public want it will cost less, and there's really no excuse left. It's outrageous that they're still ordering these caps. So like I say, I mean, there is no reason.
Well, so tell me what comes next? I mean, more pressure, of course, and the publicity.
Mm-hmm.
People see the investigation, Stephen Fry's, his, advocacy against the bear skin hats. I mean, that's now in the public eye. What can people do to further the cause?
Yeah, so they can visit PETA's website. And they can send a message to Grant Shapps, who's our Minister of Defence, and they can tell him, do this, make the switch. And we will be as I think I said earlier, we're going to do further testing on the faux fur, comparative testing with the bear fur, to show once and for all that this is a superior fabric. And obviously that will be done in the Ministry of Defence's labs. So they just won't be able to ignore that. And I mean, once that's done, that will be the final nail in the coffin, hopefully, for these bear skins.
And if you are a British subject, there's a place on the website where you can respond. And if you're a Canadian citizen, there's another place where you can respond to make sure.
Yeah, PETA US have, you can visit all of PETA's different websites depending where you are, and you can take action on those.
And if you're an American who is just appalled by the fact that they're taking these black bears, killing them, and then their skins are being made into hats, it would have the same impact no matter where you live?
Well, I think PETA US are going to ask people to take action, to write to the relevant person at the what do you call it?
Congress? To Congress?
No, not at Congress. The embassy, I forget the name of the person, but you know what I mean? Like the
ambassador.
Representative in the US embassy. But I think PTUS are also looking at the Canadian Guards hats, who also wear a similar style cap, with a view to getting them to make the change too.
Yeah, the point I was trying to make, though, is that it doesn't matter where you are or where you live, or if you're a British subject or not, or British citizen or not, you can express your outrage at this, because any human being looking at the PETA investigation can only come to one conclusion, and that is, what the heck are they killing these bears to make these ceremonial hats?
Yeah, well, I mean, why is anyone going out to kill a bear? Full stop, right? But it's so crazy that the UK government is supporting and complicit in this industry, which is essentially trophy hunting. We've got these guys going out with crossbows and guns to shoot bears for fun, and then they're selling the fur because there's this market that's been created by the UK government, and they're fulfilling that, demand. If our government would just say enough's enough and switch to faux fur, then surely, fewer bears would be killed, because there would no longer be this market for their fur.
Kate Werner, PETA UK campaigner, updating us on the push to end the hunting of Canadian black bears and their use for the Royal Guards at Buckingham Palace. Go to PETA.org for the pictures of the hunt where the bears are killed. One bear, one hat. And the Ministry of Defense has ordered in recent years 498 caps. That's a lot of bears cruelly killed needlessly. And that's our show for today. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to send a link of this show to your friends. Tell them you like the PETA Podcast. Contact us at PETA.org. And a reminder, The Failed Experiment, a new 6-part documentary, under an hour, just 99 cents for access on Amazon Prime. It's available now. You can find me on Twitter at Emil Amok, that's EMILAMOK, or see my vlog at amok.com, or see my work at ALDEF, the Asian American Legal Defense and Education Fund. That's ALDEF, AALDEF.org/blog. Or get this podcast on YouTube at Emil Amok 1. Once again, thank you for listening. Check out all our episodes on your favorite podcast app or on Apple Podcasts, where you can subscribe to as well as rate and review the show. It helps get the word out about the issues you care about. Our music is provided by Carbon Works. Check them out on YouTube. Hey, it's another season. Thank you for being on this journey, and join us again next time for more insight into animal rights and the fight for a cruelty-free world on the PETA Podcast. I'm Emil Guillermo.